How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice News. God bless everybody that is watching. God bless my country of Mexico, my city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. The sun in my eyes, man. Good morning to all. Hope that you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. We're about to head out to get our coffee and also to do another thing, go for a little jog on this Sunday morning. God bless you guys. Getting into championship mode right now. Big surprise coming up in the next incoming months. The next incoming month and a half, possibly 2 months. And big surprise coming up next week for all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining the live feed. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are doing great. Yesterday, President AMLO visited our city of Tijuana, and the purpose of him visiting the city was to particularly go and inspection the new installations and the new accommodations for the offices of the National Guard over here in our city. The new offices and the new installations of the National Guards in our city. What was the purpose of him coming over here? Was to basically, when the military does this kind of stuff, particularly the president comes and, cuts the cord or whatever they're going to do, just to say, hey, you know what, I'm here and we did a great job and this is a phenomenal job that we're doing with the National Guard. But a certain particular thing happened. And the president was not expecting that. And as we have been saying consistently, we say this consistently, and the leftists, stupid leftists, in our country, because there really is ignorance to the finest extent what their justifications. We already know people that we are against the government, how they have managed our lives practically in Mexico. The political party of PRI, the political party of PAN, the most corrupt political parties that have been in the plus 80 years, it has been PRI and PAN, and now is the political party of Morena. These 3 political parties have absolutely not give no consideration, excuse me, to the poor people, to the indigenous people, and not care about the citizens. The principal thing is, we're still the same. And the justification of these people is, this has been happening for 80 years. How do you expect for him to fix it in 2 years? How do you expect to do miracles for 2 years? And things continue to happen. And it's continuing. The cartel is still, I don't think that the cartel war is going to end. Never. It is the government that controls that. And ultimately, the assassinations towards women. And these leftists in our country say, statistics, this guy, those are false statistics. He's paid. He's from the Prian. He's paid. All the time. The same stupid justifications. It's just so stupid. And everybody in Mexico is sick and tired of these justifications. The problem right here is the kidnappings in our city of Tijuana and the assassinations towards women have become horrible. It is not something that is, really easy to make people understand. No, people, it has become horrible. The assassinations towards women and the kidnappings towards women in our city of Tijuana have become horrible. And the missing individuals, the missing people, the ones that I have consistently said, this statistic, that Mexico is number 5 for clandestine bearings. Number 5. There is a group, and there's a small group that is called Todos Somos Eric Carrillo. Everybody is Eric Carrillo. Who's Eric Carrillo? Eric Carrillo was a young kid that, he went out to the store one day, he got kidnapped, and he disappeared. And his father started a group movement that it says, all of us, we are Eric Carrillo. All of us, under the assumption that everybody was going to reunite him, and everybody was going to be together with him to go find his son Eric Carrillo. After he started this movement, the movement started growing enormously, and it started being a conglomerate of people that they started looking, and they, people started coming out like, hey, my son is missing also. Hey, my daughter's missing. Hey, my son got kidnapped. Hey, my husband is kidnapped. Hey, my this is that. Hey, but so a lot of people started coming out. This movement started growing and growing and growing and growing. And I met the leader of this movement, Todos Somos Eric Carrillo, his father. He's a really good man. He's a really, really decent, responsible, honorable man. And this man, when we met, he told me, you know what, Oscar, I'm afraid. I'm afraid because the organized crime has threatened me to not speak and to not go and show where the bodies are buried in the mountains and, disappeared in places on the east side of Tijuana where there's no population and there's no civilization and there's no houses and there's no buildings and there's no nothing. We have done all of that, and they record and they document everything. And I'm afraid because the organized crime is threatening me to not do it anymore. Because if I do it, and if we as citizens, we start searching for our kids and we start searching for our families, now we're getting threatened by the cartel or by the organized crime. Imagine that. So you cannot even look for your son or for your daughter or for your family member that has been missing or that has been kidnapped and he's buried in the mountains or he's buried somewhere else. You cannot even go look for it because they're threatening you. And the government is not doing anything about it. The government of Mexico is not doing anything about it. And that is the most upsetting thing, the thing that really gets everybody upset. That how come the citizens are taking measures into their own hands so they can go and find their kids and their daughters and their sons and everything. It is just horrible. And this happened yesterday. This collective of people, es un colectivo, this collective of people went to where the president was going to be at. And for 21 plus minutes, the president got his vehicle interrupted by all the collective people from Todos Somos Eric Carrillo. There were mothers there. There were fathers there, that their sons, they cannot find them, that their daughters, they cannot find them. They were family members. They were normal citizens there who had lost their sibling or had lost a friend and they cannot find them. And they were exercising their right to go over there directly and to stop the vehicle where the president was and to tell the president, do something about it. For God's sake, do something about it. And the most amazing thing was that he stayed in the vehicle. He didn't come out and said anything. The operation of the security for the president, may I say, you're spending millions and millions of pesos. Señor presidente, se está gastando millones y millones de pesos y su gabinete de seguridad para usted es una verdadera vergüenza, ¿eh? Déjeme decírselo. It is a shame. The security that he's spending millions and millions of pesos to put security on him. And it is a complete shame. And the most embarrassing thing about this is that he's not giving statements about it. And every time that people are complaining about the assassinations and killings and kidnappings towards women, he comes with an explanation and a justification to say that is because the conservatives are the ones hold on 1 second right here. I got something in my phone. I'm sorry. that the conservatives are the ones that they are practically, to blame for. The conservatives are the ones that they need to be blamed for. And he doesn't give no explanation for the enormous assassinations and killings towards women. It's just amazing. This is a president, the past president, Enrique Peña Nieto, a total disgusting guy. A complete disaster. The past president, that it was Felipe Calderón, another complete disaster. Where poverty struck the most was with President Vicente Fox, another complete disaster. You go back to Ernesto Zedillo, another complete disaster. Salinas de Gortari, another complete disaster. De la Madrid, another complete disaster. Has always been a disaster. It has always been a disaster. And now, the President AMLO supposedly came to save the planet and save the world and save Mexico. We are number 2 in the world for kidnappings, killings, and assassinations towards women. And he only blames the conservatives. Why are you blaming the conservatives? Why don't you do your job? And not only that, the people were interrupting when he was coming in. So they were protesting, citizens that were protesting for him to not move forward. And for him to not, somebody's talking about Romania. Yeah, they're protesting in Romania and also in Madrid. They're protesting the lockdowns of COVID. I will talk about that if you want. I was reading some articles last night about the protests in Romania and also the protests in Madrid. I wanted to know if those videos were actual factual videos and they were from yesterday, if they were, actually from the moment that they were saying that they were protesting from restrictions. A lot of people were protesting in Madrid and a lot of people were protesting in Romania. Yes, it is a fact. There's protests around the world against COVID restrictions. But we'll get into that in a few seconds. This is the most shameful thing, man. It is this guy, this president that we have. It is just unbelievable, man. It is how the continuous justifications of him blaming the conservatives, blaming the other political party. This was happening before. Now the statistics are coming out, but before they were smokescreen. They were hiding the right statistics. It's every time he's blaming, every time, and it does not, get us nowhere. And when they were driving in, to the National Guard, new National Guard offices, when he was driving in there, this collective of people, we're not talking about that. This collective of people that I'm telling you guys is not just 20, 30 people. This collective of people, we're talking about that they're close to 500 people, man. It's a lot of families that they're concerned about what is happening in Tijuana. Tijuana, for the second year in a row, Mr. President, under your administration, and the governor is really good friend of yours. It's Jaime Bonilla. Our city of Tijuana, for second year in a row, is the most violent city in the world. And Juarez is number 2. Where is the 60+ million pesos that you spend on our city to bring security with the National Guard, and ultimately with all this that you wanted to bring down crime? Nowhere to be seen. So yesterday there was the President AMLO came over here to our city of Tijuana to basically, give statements and inaugurate the new offices of the National Guard. Now, touching on the subject that I was touching last night, really important subject that a lot of people are concerned and a lot of people are not seeing the facts and not seeing the reality of what is happening. Let's take away our feelings and let's see the reality of what is happening. And let's be human for one moment. Let's just try to be human for one moment. And I will completely appreciate if we are human for one particular moment. I will completely appreciate that. But let me just tell you what I see. I see a country of Mexico that committed a mistake. My country of Mexico committed a mistake. Before, I will do this little story for you guys real quick. Man, I need to turn on the AC. It's really nice weather today over here in Tijuana. Really nice weather. And I'm just going to meet up some friends right now. We're going to go for a little jog. And it looks really nice. So, back when the administration of Obama, when he was president, let's not look at Democrat, let's not look at Republican. Let's just look who's the leader of the country and who's on the presidential seat. That's what we had to look at. It's not, we don't have to look at if it's a Republican, if it's a Democrat, if it's a liberal. We need to look at who's the leader of the country. That's what we need to look at. And who's on the seat, on the presidential seat, and who's taking the decisions for your country. We need to look at that. So, when Obama was president, a lot of things happened. And it was the automatic destruction of the United States of America little by little. Everybody was saying it was the best economy. Oh my God. No, it was not. No, it was not. It was an absolute destruction. It was the time that the cages were made. It was the time that more than 90,000 kids were gone missing in 2015. The president that bombed more the Middle East. The president that actually deported more Latinos and Mexicans in history. Considered one of the most racist presidents towards the Mexican community in history of the United States. It is a statistic and stat. And it's the president that had more people in prison in the federal system in history. It's an actual fact. You can go and look it up. I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking because I want to. Go and look it up. At that particular time, when Obama was president, Enrique Peña Nieto from the political party of PRI was president of Mexico. Enrique Peña Nieto wanted to privatize the water, the electricity, the gas over here in our country. And we did not see that this communist agenda or globalist, it's not even communist, it's a globalist agenda. This globalist agenda was coming to our country little by little, and we were not realizing that. But everybody was hating on Peña Nieto because the violence, because of the assassinations of 43, students and protesters, and all this kind of stuff that it was happening. He hit his wife. He said his wife. He was a wife. He was a horrible human being. But Enrique Peña Nieto had a really close relationship with Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, and Barack Obama. And both of them said, you know what, man, we need to open the borders. If we're going to do this by the United Nations, we need to open the borders. And we need to bring all these enormous influx of migrants into our, become part of the globalist agenda. If we are going to be a powerful country, we need to be part of that. If we cannot be part of that, they're going to screw us, man. There's more than countries that they're going with the United Nations. We have to go over there. So, Barack Obama got into the Globalist Compact of Immigration. Enrique Peña Nieto signed the Globalist Compact of Immigration at that particular time. And what happened? In the Article 11 of the Constitution of Mexico, it says that everybody has the right to migrate and everybody has the right to refugee with documentation. And to Mexicans, they can exercise their right to move from point C to point A in our country. But Enrique Peña Nieto added something. He modified the Constitution. He modified that article that is called una laguna. He put this. He put this Article 11 of the Constitution can adapt to, guess what? Can adapt to international agreements. What is the international agreement? The Globalist Compact. So in the year of 2015, more than 15,000 migrants from Haiti arrived here. And everybody in the United States was freaking out because Barack Obama was going to let them in, all the 15,000. And we in Tijuana, we were like, what the hell is going on? Where did these 15,000 people in little caravans from Venezuela, little caravans from Nicaragua started arriving into Tijuana? We were like, okay, you know, let's, we did not know, we were blind what they were doing. Oh, you know, they're running away from fear, their necessities, you know, there's poverty over there. We need to help them. We need to help them. Ahorita lo hago, Omar. Ahorita lo voy a hacer. Te mando un saludo, Omar. Ahorita lo voy a hacer. Y voy a hablar del presidente que vino aquí a Tijuana. Lo mismo que estoy hablando aquí. Te mando un abrazo. And he, you know, all these things started happening. All these things started happening. So I remember going to work and going through the one shelter in particular, and there was lines of people from Haiti, lines, and I was like, man, what a horrible situation. Why they put these people through this? But at that particular time, we did not know what they were doing, people. We did not know what they were doing. And now we know what they are doing. What happened now? Because Donald Trump got into the presidential seat, Obama had the globalist agenda ready for Hillary Clinton. Enrique Peña Nieto, you know, was on his last days as president. And what happened was that immediately Obama had it ready. The globalist agenda, Hillary Clinton respects and adores George Soros. It's a reality. She respects and loves George Soros. What happened? Easy. This is what happened. Donald Trump won the election, and he said, we're going to build a wall. Some statement to say to the world, no. We know what you're trying to do. We know what your globalist agenda is trying to do. We know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to flood our country with an influx of migrants like you are doing with Mexico. No. And he put that statement. And he became president. So the agenda that they were managing for years in a planification with the past president of Mexico, with the past president of Obama, got interrupted by an individual that said America first. Right? So all the planification for the globalist agenda was set for the new administration to come. And then President AMLO came in. And we were like, caravans started pouring in from Central America. But the wall was already getting built. And President Trump was president. So they knew that it was going to be difficult. The globalists, the United Nations, and all these organizations, they knew that it was going to be difficult. President AMLO came in, and it was I remember clearly, December 18 of 2018 in Morocco. It was the time if Mexico was going to re-sign again the Globalist Compact of Immigration, was going to pull out. And President AMLO was pushed by the globalists to sign the Globalist Compact of Immigration. And he signed it without knowing what problem he will get himself into. And as we started reading the Globalist Compact, it says you need to provide schools, you need to provide clothing, you need to provide a better life, you need to provide them everything. And we're like, what the hell? How are we going to do this? We got 60 million in poverty, 68 million without medical care, 28 million in critical condition in Mexico. There's a lot of poverty. There's our farmers, they need their product to be sold. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of delinquents. We don't have enough medicines for children with cancer. Our country is falling apart, and we're having this again. How are we going to maintain this? Where is it going to come out? And they did not care. They started pouring it in. pouring it in. And President Trump started seeing how they were trying to invade his country, how they were trying to flood his border. He reinforced the border. And it started flooding and flooding and flooding and flooding. And the Democrats and the leftists and the radical progressive and the activists were part of this movement to flood the borders, to open the borders, part of the globalist agenda. It was amazing what President Trump was fighting against. And when it suddenly got into a point that they could not control it, President Trump said, I will tariff Mexico. And that's where, all the leftists in Mexico say, oh no, President AMLO had a great relationship with President Trump. He did not have a great relationship before he got tariffed. Remember? I can give you statements of President AMLO before he got tariffed by the President of the United States. He didn't have no good relationship. But after he got tariffed and the threat of being tariffed, he was like, oh yes, buddy. And he started stopping the caravans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 caravans. Hundreds of caravans he stopped. Because if President AMLO did not stop the caravans, he was going to get tariffed 5% on the beer industry, automobile industry, and avocado. Remember, the automobile industry, China is number 1 in the world, the United States is number 2, and Mexico is number 5. And we have an enormous exportation and importation business between the United States and Mexico. The cheap man labor is over here, but the importation of parts comes from the United States to over here. So it's a great business. So President Trump knew how you were going to stop this. I don't want no complications, man. You stop it or something else is going to happen. Mike Pompeo and President Trump did that. So what happened? They stopped. The last caravan, Mexico did not stop it. The 9,000 caravan did not stop it. It was Guatemala. So what happened later? What happened later? You know what happened later? Everybody started attacking the president. He's a racist. He's against migrants. He's against this. He's against that. But nobody was talking about the statistics and stats that they were in the caravan. And a lot of people started hating migrants, that it was horrible. You don't hate an individual that is being hauled and used. A lot of these individuals that they're in the caravans, they are good people. But a lot of them are bad. And it has been my obligation to show you guys for almost 3 years that there's good people in the caravan, that they have been used, and there's bad people in the caravan, that they use these people, and that ultimately, not only they use these people, but they are bad people also. You have said, this is why I go and interview people, and I interview migrants, and I said, there's a lot of child trafficking in the caravans, and they say, yes, there's a lot, but what can we do? So it's not their fault. It's the organizations and the nonprofit organizations that they're involved in these movements. The Globalist Compact of Immigration, it was signed by 154 countries. 154. A lot of countries. And when the caravans started happening, a lot of child trafficking is starting occurring inside of they use the necessity, the I'm suffering, they're suffering agenda to implement it on everybody else's mind, to think, oh my God, they're suffering. Oh my God, they're suffering. Oh my God, they're suffering. Oh my God, there's a lot of violence in Honduras and in Guatemala and El Salvador. But you don't see your neighbor country, that is Mexico, that is number 1 for cartel activity, number 2 for child trafficking, number 2 for number 2 for killings of women, number 4 for human smuggling, number 5 for clandestine bearings, has 5 cities on the top 5 for violence and delinquents, and 15 on the top 50 of the world. In Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador, they're not even on the top 5. They're not even on the top 10. They're not even on the top 15. So how is that agenda managing? What is happening there? And it was a globalist strategy. And the influx started happening. And fake marriages and fake matrimonies and fake families started happening. The globalists started interfering in the organizations. And they started creating all these kind of stuff and telling migrants, oh, you can marry this, you can marry that, you can make a family, you can do this, you can do that. Because there's loopholes in immigration in the United States and you can cheat on them. You can cross. Like that easy. Not do the process. Don't listen to the Mexican government. Don't listen to Beta. Don't listen to the Enami. Listen to us that we're nonprofits and we're helping. A lot of interference started happening. Our Constitution in Mexico got violated. Article 33 of the Constitution says that no foreigner can come with their foreign politics into our country. And all these foreign lawyers, foreign people started coming and interfering in processes that they're not globalist processes. You're in a country. We have a Constitution. Respect it. For 4 years of President Trump, they were consistently attacking the man for being against immigrants, supposedly. But they did never talk about, no politician in the United States of America talked about the globalist compact of immigration, the child trafficking that is occurring in the caravans, the business that is occurring in the caravans, the enormous smuggling and sex trafficking that is occurring in the caravans. And you saw it yesterday when I interviewed a woman migrant that she was saying there's a lot of sex trafficking. And yes, coyotes, they want us to have sex with them and use us so they can get us across. That's sex trafficking, people. And a lot of this is happening. This is why I'm against the caravans, non-migrants. I'm a pro-migrant, legal, documented and with a purpose, pro-migrant. But something happened else. A virus was created. So all the processes that they were awaiting to get a number for the asylum were stopped in 2020. So migrants stopped their process on 2020. And it was the year that a lot of migrants arrived to our country of Mexico and to the borders, and they were stuck because of the pandemic, because of the essential and non-essential crossings. And you know, the asylum and refugee cases were not considered essential. So all the numbers, all the court dates, everything got flooded. Everything. Somebody saying, watch Beto Alpha. Yes, he's a good friend of mine. Betito. Who's recommending Beto Alpha? Yeah. Christina Phillips. Yes, he's a friend of mine. Beto Alpha. Everybody was, you know, thinking, oh, we're going to be essential. And no, they were not. Refugee and asylum cases were not essential. They were not. So they got stopped. More than 20,000 migrants, they are awaiting right here in our city of Tijuana, in our state of Baja California, to be attended. And they are not MPPs. They don't have a stay at home, a stay in Mexico policy. That, you know, they give you a number, a court date to be assigned. More than 80,000 across the borders. More than 20,000 in the border of Tapachula with Guatemala. More than 40,000 awaiting in the triangle of Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. A lot of people. Catch and release was taken off because 70+% of the immigrants that they were going in, they were not returning to court because they were afraid that they were going to get deported. They used the tactic, afraid. Oh my God, they're afraid. You're not sensitive enough. You don't have a heart, Oscar Blue. You're not sensitive. They use that tactic. So catch and release was taken off. Fuck, I'll take it. No. Stop it. And they registered on the year 2018, 4,800 fake families. On the year 2019, 5,800 fake families. And the leftists are saying that happened in the administration of Trump. Yes, dumbass. That happened in the administration of Trump because the globalists was pushing this agenda of the influx of migrants to flood the borders. It is exactly what Canada was doing from the north to flood the borders to the United States. So the United States was getting sandwiched because Trudeau signed also the globalist compact of immigration. It's amazing. And not only that, ya llegó este güey. Espérame. Not only that Trudeau signed it, and the Mexican president signed it, so the United States was getting sandwiched. Where do you go by that? What do you do? What do you do next? All these businesses, that is a business. What they're doing, it is a business. All of this started to become a problem. People were suffering. Migrants were suffering in the caravans. When I started this video, I said, for just this video, stop being a Republican and stop being a Democrat. Be a human being, for God's sake. Just be humanitarian for one moment. Don't be a Republican. Don't be a Democrat. Please. This is not, yes, Oscar, but we have a lot of homeless in our country. Yes, Oscar, we have more homeless than you. We have more poverty than you, and that is not even your fault. But I'm saying it's specifically numbers. Numbers. We got more homeless. What I'm talking about here is how these politicians, these globalist communist politicians, are using people and are using human beings with their globalist agenda. President of the United States, Donald Trump, left office. And before he left office, in the debates, President Trump with Joe Biden, President Trump, I remember that debate, he was saying, who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages, Joe? And he was not responding. They were like, just say, who built the cages, Joe? President Trump said there's a lot of coyotes, he said, that they're taking advantage of kids and they're trafficking kids. No, that's not true. Joe Biden said, no, that's not true. Holy cow. Oh my God. Where does this guy live? What planet are you on? And, leftists and people from the Democratic Party, they were memes making fun of kids on top of a coyote, on top of a dog crossing to the United States. And I was like, no, my God, no. Don't tell me that they're like that. Don't. No, please, no. Don't say that. And yes, they were thinking that. It's like, wow, man. There's so misinformed people in the United States about the situation in the borders. They're so misinformed. What happened later? 6th of January happened. Joe Biden became president. A lot of people are going to say he's not my president. He's not the 46th president. He's a shame to America. He's a shame to Americans. That's what I said. Leave being a Democrat and a Republican for a minute. And what Joe Biden said in his speeches and his debates were this: I'm going to create a better pathway for migrants. He said that. When he said that, and when he said that he was going to give 22 million, he said first. 22 million people, their citizenship. Caravans started forming. And I told you guys, for almost 3 years I've been telling you, if a Democratic president comes into office with the globalist agenda that they are part of, is going to change your country. They're going to sign the Globalist Compact of Immigration. They're going to sign the Globalist Compact of the Environment. That is the Paris deal now. Giving the automobile industry to China, so China can decrease the contamination of emissions by 2035. And by 2065, the emissions, that is oil, gasoline, is not going to exist. So it's going to be electrical cars. Forget about your Nova B8. It's done. Or your Chevelle. Forget about it. You're not even going to be able to drive it. You're contaminating the world. And the Globalist Compact of Education, that it was signed, that it was going to be signed by the United States if Joe Biden won. It is created by the Vatican. The Globalist Compact of Education, it is kids going to schools around the world, kids, minors, accompanied by a legal guardian, that it was the Vatican was going to provide it, and organizations were going to provide this legal guardianship. Child trafficking to the fullest extent. So now you get Joe Biden coming in as a president. And what is the first thing that he does? He says, he starts signing bills after bills, after bills, after bills and bills and bills. And I told you guys, the only way that they are going to collapse your economy is by signing these little bills after bills after bills after bills. And he started doing it. It is exactly the way that they did to Venezuela. Venezuela was number 2 as the most richest countries in the world back in the 80s and 90s. In the continent of America. It was really close to the United States. Imagine how rich they were. It was a first-class world country. Venezuela is an exercise for the globalists, the socialists, the communists, the elite, on how they are going to transform and how they're going to take away and they're going to have control of your water, electricity, food, people, control. More entirely, now everybody's looking at Venezuela as an exercise on how to control, with socialism, a country. Joe Biden came in. The first thing that he does, signs bills. He passes a bill for $4.8 billion sent to Central America to help migrants. That agreement was signed by President Donald Trump. But President Donald Trump was going to send a task force to inspection that money was going to be spent on, boosting the economy of Central America and also creating jobs so they will not leave their country. They will stay over there. Joe Biden is going to send the money. I don't know how if he's going to send a task force or not. But what happened? Leave being a Democrat and leave being a Republican. Again, don't be that right now. A caravan started forming when he opened his mouth. Joe Biden opened his mouth and a caravan started forming. 9,000 people, and they got stopped by the National Guard in Guatemala. In the middle of a pandemic, a caravan started forming and they got stopped. 6 National Guard officers were critically injured and 2 migrants were dead in that confrontation. And it was all provoked by who? By the president up north. Then he opened his mouth. The 46th one. He opened his mouth. He said, yeah, come over here. I'll create a better pathway for you. I'm going to give you an opportunity. The refugee and asylum case and the stay in Mexico policy is not going to be affected anymore. Now we're going to take you in. So caravans started forming. And after they got stopped, and he, the 46th president, opened his eyes and saw the light, and he's like, holy cow, what I just created. Kamala, what I just created. I don't know what the hell I just created. Joe, you got to tell them that right now is not a good moment. So the House Speaker said, right now is not a good moment to migrate. Calm down. But we are going to accept all the MPPs, the ones that they had a court date. Do you know how many are those? They're close to 80,000 in the borders of Mexico. And you're saying that you're going to accept 125,000. All right. Do you actually have a plan like Mexico did not have, and they implemented and they adapted? Because Tijuana citizens, they stepped to the plate and they created shelters. The nonprofit organizations have come and they have done a great job on helping the people. Are you prepared, the administration of Biden, are you prepared with shelters, with food, with schools, with everything to give them? Are you actually prepared? Because California has a deficit of homeless that is close to 1 million. So you bring poverty and homeless to more homeless. What is this, people? Where have I seen it, and how is it called? It's called communism and socialism. It's called a classist strategy that is actually happening in Venezuela. You bring poverty to more poverty. And it is called the 1% population. That is the kings and queens, and that is the people. So caravans started coming in. And migrants now, they are awaiting outside of the port of entry because the 46th president said that he was going to open the doors on Friday. 300 he's going to let in every day. 300, he said. Every day he was going to let in. Stop being a Republican right now and stop being a Democrat right now and tell me whose fault is it? I got two people. I got two that they're their faults. And there's one organization that is behind all of this. Facts. Just facts. No, I'm a hardcore Republican. Trump 2020. Leave that alone. Facts. Only facts itself. Only facts itself. Yesterday, I was at port of entry, and I was seeing kids laying down on the floor and sitting down on the floor, and I was like, man, I felt sad. I feel bad. And people started getting mad because I was feeling bad and I was getting into my feelings. No. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I feel bad because of these people are being used. And it is not fair to use humans for your own purpose and your own globalist agenda. It is not fair. You need to tell them the truth. If the United States is going to be open, tell them it's going to be open. If the United States is going to be closed, tell them that it's going to be closed. Don't use people. The United Nations is the #1 to blame. Where are they to help people? If they're creating this globalist compact of immigration, why are they not there? Providing food, providing homes, providing schools. Where are all these 154 countries providing the economy so the United Nations can step in and say, this is a hotel, this is a shelter, this is that, we're going to stay this is the process, how we're going to do it. No, you put them, it's a strategy. You use them. Laying on the floor with kids, you use them so other people will feel sad and will feel guilt of not helping them. So in that way, you use the psychology so they can open the border. Ah, you're really good, man. Ah, you're really good. It's all a mind game for you. You use people. They're suffering. That's what you do. Number one to blame, the United Nations. You create a globalist compact of immigration and you put them to migrate through 9 countries. I have interviewed people from Ghana, from Cameroon, 9 countries, through jungles, through seas, through deserts, through mountains, through traffickers. All of that you're putting them through, is it that correct way to migrate? That is not a correct way to migrate. You're not doing anything for them. And organizations are stepping to the plate that they were not even in the vicinity of thinking that they were going to help. But where are you, George Soros, the United Nations? Where are you to help these people? They're laying down with their kids. It's their responsibility. Why are they bringing their kids if they know that they're being used? Open your mind. They don't think like you. They don't have that perception of life like you. They don't have it that good as you. They're being used. So their necessity and their suffering, they use it to their advantage. God's sake, think for a minute. You see a person that is suffering without food. You go to that person and say, I got an opportunity for you, man. The United States is open, but we need to migrate at a flood at a vast majority of people. Get 20 of them. He goes and gets 20 people that they're suffering exactly like him. And they go. They use that. Learn. Think. Look a little bit more further into what they're saying, what they're doing as a strategy. Second individuals, that they're their fault right now between us neighbors. Because I'm not even talking about the globalist compact, what happened in Europe, what happened in Spain, what happened in Italy, what happened in Bulgaria, what happened in Germany, for God's sake, what happened in France. I'm not even talking about that. We're talking about us, our neighbor countries, Mexico and the United States only. The second country that is to blame, and it is the government, not the people, it is Mexico. My country, the government of Mexico, for signing the globalist compact of immigration and for getting themselves into this problem without knowing the repercussions that they were going to happen. If you had poverty in your country, and if your economy is collapsing because of COVID, your GDP is -10, for God's sake. You don't get it. You have enormous violence and delinquents in your country. You don't get it. You have a cartel problem. Don't you get it? And then you bring a globalist compact of immigration that is part of the G7. It is part of the elite. It is part of the elite families. It is part of this new world order. And you flood the borders. And you make our economy suffer. You make the borders suffer. And you make the door from the city of Ciudad Hidalgo and Tapachula suffer. And you put us through another stress in our lives. And when you create problems with our neighbor, that is the United States. And you bring more child trafficking, more pedophile rings, more human smuggling, more sex trafficking, more smuggling of people business into where already is a business. Why you did that? part of their globalist agenda. And the third one to blame, the left political party. And also there are the political parties in the United States. I'm sorry. There's a lot of crooked Republicans. They want this. You guys have seen it. I don't have to tell you. What do you call them? Rhinos? There's a lot of crooked rhinos in your country. And there's a lot of crooked Democrats in your country. I remember when they were really good Democrats. Really good Democrat people. They're none anymore. Everybody wants communism and socialism. And there's a lot of crooked rhinos also involved with child trafficking, involved with pedophile rings. I'm sorry, take it in your face. That's the way it is. The communist agenda in the United States of America, it is so strong, and the globalists are so in the United States of America right now that they manage the 46th president. That is the next one to blame right now. That it was Obama at that time, and now it's going to be Joe Biden's problem. Antonio Gutierrez, the Secretary General of the United Nations, said this in the week, that he's really happy that Joe Biden is taking in migrants and refugees to his country, and that he is looking forward to sign the globalist compact of immigration on later 2021. What does this tell you? That Joe Biden is going to sign it. This is why he said this is not the time to migrate. When he signs the globalist compact of immigration, it's going to be the perfect time. So again, Mexico is going to be used as a trampoline, and the United States of America is going to be the #1 target. And their economy is going to collapse. Leave being a Democrat and don't be a Republican. See the situation how it is. See the situation and how they're using people, human beings. It does not matter if he's from whatever part of the world. They are using them. It is our obligation as reporters, as broadcasters, to educate these people and to tell them you're being used. This is the correct way to do it. This is the correct way to migrate. They're lying to you. That is a lie. This is the correct way. That is a lie. This is the truth. Lie, truth. It is our obligation to do that. I'm sorry if I'm human and if I'm seeing a kid, a 4-year-old kid that does not know about his mom, his bad decisions of his mother, of his dad, with no shoes on the floor. Yeah, but we got kids also, Oscar, over here that they don't. Oh my God, I'm not talking about that, because Mexicans, we have also homeless kids also. But I'm seeing the situation right now. In the situation, it is how they are being used. And that is unhuman. Let's understand logics. Logics. Stop being for a political party for once. And see what they're doing to your country and what they want to do to your country and what they're doing to the world and people. I told you guys back in 2018, I remember in December, when I started telling the American audience in December, I remember clearly when I started saying to the American audience in December 2018, there's a massive force coming into your country that is called New World Order. It is coming. It is so strong that you are not going to be able to contain it. You guys need to do something about it. It's a massive force that is coming. We're going to win. We're going to win by a landslide, Oscar. We're going to win by a landslide. Landslide. There's a massive force. I told you guys, it does not even matter if they put Bernie Sanders at that particular time. It does not even matter if they put, Joe Biden in the president. It's the people behind those individuals that they're controlling the world. They're controlling your country. They want to control your country. They want to collapse your economy. When you read, you get to learn a lot of stuff. The political Communist Party of China, it is the absolute, right now, they're trying to be absolute dominant, not only of China, but of the world. And how they are using not only people to migrate, but how they are using us. It's a lot how they're using us. That's why when I started this video, I told you guys, stop being a Republican and don't be a Democrat. Don't be for one political party. Just listen. It's really important to listen. Most importantly, for everybody to know, Jesus is coming, man. Oh my God. He's coming. He's right here, 1 block away. Everybody can see that. There's so much evil. There's so much corruption in the world. There's so much bad. There's so much darkness. It cannot be like that. He's coming. So instead of saying, this is so wrong because they're doing this. This is so bad because they're doing this. Instead of criticizing, let's do something about it. And let's open eyes of what they're trying to do in using people. These demonic leaders that they're leftists, and they're from the left or whatever they are, left, right, whatever they are using people. First and foremost, they are using them. And we need to stop it. God bless everybody. It was nice talking to you guys this morning. Really nice talking to you guys. Really nice. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. It's been a complete and absolute pleasure. Sorry for my accent. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, at his pages in Facebook, YouTube, Parler, Orbeez, and his channel in Telegram. Also, you can follow me as Oscar L. Blue. You can follow me at my page at Facebook, my page as in YouTube as Oscar L. Blue, and also you can follow me at in my channel at Telegram as Oscar L. Blue. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Somebody's asking, how do we stop it? You have been doing a great job, by the way, little by little, exposing everything. Education is the #1 key to stop, and knowledge is the #1 key for against evil. They want you to be blind. They want you to not say anything. They want you to, to not think. They want you to not realize. They want you to not understand. They want you to not see, not feel, not touch. But if you educate yourself, you will achieve the #1 thing that is your God-given right, that is your freedom. And that, my friend, nobody can take it away from you. Education is key. God bless you guys. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always, your country's first. God bless.